Hello and welcome to High Vibe Astrology. This is Jennifer. Back to talk about the nodes that shifted into Aries and Libra yesterday and what we might expect from this energy over the next 18 months, approximately 1.5 years. The Aries North Node is calling us to move toward greater sovereignty, self-directed action that supports the I am principle. It's an energy that is very decisive, courageous, spontaneous, and entrepreneurial. It is also fiercely protective with a warrior-like stance and defends its position and or those with whom it identifies with great tenacity. The Libra South Node on the other side is going to be revealing to us all the ways that we have put relationships above our own I am principle, putting the needs of others above our own for the sake of keeping the peace. And now we're being asked to make our own I am presence the priority. We're not abandoning relationships. We are simply flipping the priority to fill our own cup first and to be able to then engage and interact with others and in relationships in a way that, because our cup is filled to overflowing, we are attracting naturally those people and circumstances that allow us to move from that space of overflow rather than depletion. When Christ said, "Love your neighbor as yourself," he didn't mean sacrifice yourself for the sake of your neighbors or the sake of your loved ones or those around you. We have to fill our own cup with, by connecting with the infinite source, with the creator of all life and all love. When we connect with the infinite source, it is literally the well that does not run dry. So we've been conditioned for such a long time to sacrifice our own being on the altar of the greater good, the greater whole, or the relationship. But I hope by now we are seeing that it simply doesn't work that way. We cannot put another's happiness above our own or take responsibility for another's happiness. When we do that, we are robbing them of having the soul journey they need to have to connect with Source and fill their own cup. So when we put the relationship above our own needs, the only thing that gets us is built up resentment for abandoning who we are truly and what we need. So then, we begin to expect the outer world to somehow read our minds and fill that void, and it simply doesn't work that way. So what we need to do is connect with Infinite Source. We need to fortify our own sovereignty and self-directed energy and find that love that renews itself. It cannot come from an outside source. It's got to come from the spiritual realm, the infinite realm, and the realm of unconditional love. What I've been feeling from the universe and really tuning into with this nodal shift is, of course, a natural response to being on the heels of the Taurus-Scorpio nodes. And I feel that this journey is calling us to a higher love, a higher way of being in love. It's a spiraling of the collective consciousness, letting us know that we cannot continue doing relationships the way we've always done relationships. So as we continue to evolve at the soul deep level, we don't ever return to the same place we've been before. We're leveling up. This is an upgrade for all of us to really examine how we need to restore equilibrium within our outer relationships. And the only way that we can do that is by restoring the relationship within. And in the collective, it does feel as though the divine feminine and divine masculine are healing in ways that they have never before been able to identify or have access to. And it's helping to restore healing exponentially on this planet. And that can only be a good thing. So, this old narrative of being at war with all of the perceived opposites is now being brought into balance. I just listened to the conversation between Heather Ensworth and Pam Gregory on Pluto squaring the nodes. And Heather was quoting Thich Nhat Hanh. And I love this quote that you can't stop the war in the world if you have not stopped the war in your heart. The actual experience of true love is completely foreign to most of us on the planet today. We've never known it. We've always had karmic relationships, transactional love, transactional intimate encounters. And this is what's coming to an end. This is what is actually transforming. So, or at least it is our invitation to transform this old karmic pattern. To realize that our true nature is love, and to use the Aries North Node energy to defend that. Aries is the natural defender, protector, and it's asking us to champion our own loving, gentle nature who really just wants peace, who wants harmony, and that is represented by the Libra South Node. The irony is that the battle does begin within us. And we have to set the healthy boundaries for ourselves, make ourselves and our own nature the priority, that then becomes supported by the relationship and also establishes this state of perpetual equilibrium that continues to feed and nourish both parties on either side of that scale. So both parties within the dynamic are met at an equal give and take exchange. What the Pluto square is bringing up for us to examine are those deep fears associated with truly being seen and heard. A quote I heard a long time ago, and I cannot remember the source, but I absolutely love it, says, "What we fear the most is what we want the most." And when you consider that fear is the opposite of love, we realize that by resolving this battle within us is actually healing the world. It's doing the world a huge favor and giving ourselves permission to be who we truly are as sovereign soul, having a human experience, and to come to terms with that and to make that a priority within the context of relationship, rather than putting the relationship a priority above our own sovereignty. This is the journey. This is what we are about over the next year and a half. And restoring this natural equilibrium will then immediately transfer into the outer world and bring healing and equilibrium there as well. So this is basically the journey for the next year and a half. I will do another video on Venus going retrograde in Leo, because I feel that this is also a really important part of that journey. Venus goes retrograde on the 22nd, and Venus is now the ruler of the Libra South Node. Venus going retrograde in Leo is going to have a lot to say, too, about how we go about healing the heart, Venus and Leo. But to wrap up this video for the Aries-Libra axis, remember that these are general energies I'm sharing. So depending on where these signs are in your chart, it will be different for all of you. And if you would like a more in-depth and personal assessment of these energies, please see the links below to schedule a personal reading with me. And the affirmations and frequencies are not included here because the nodes shifted like an hour and a half after the Cancer new moon. So please refer to the Cancer new moon video for those affirmations and frequencies, and that link is below as well. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to being with you next time. Always wishing you well. This is Jennifer.